And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
FBI agents attack residences in 11 states on October 23, 2025. Current coaches, Hall of Famers, and elite athletes were all detained. The allegations include game rigging, tens of millions in fraud, and 4 mafia groups running the NBA covertly. This goes beyond a simple scandal. Basketball, as we know it, is going to be extinct. The NBA was rocked by the shocking FBI bust. On October 23, 2025, the basketball world saw what can only be called a complete earthquake that threatens to upend all we believe to be true about the National Basketball Association's integrity. Imagine this. Agents from the FBI, clad in their distinctive windbreakers and tactical gear, are storming into residences in not just one, not two, but 11 states around this wonderful country. Their targets included some of the most well-known figures in professional basketball, people who have coached our favorite teams, appeared on our TV screens, and symbolized the highest level of athletic performance and competitive prowess.
Here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra.
This wasn't just another standard investigation or case of white-collar crime that would be forgotten after a few news cycles. No one could have predicted this. It was something much darker, much more extensive, and much more ingrained in the very fabric of professional basketball. The FBI revealed a massive federal crackdown called Nothing But Net in their worst fears, which led to the arrest of over 30 people in those 11 states, including some of the most well-known personalities in NBA history and current operations. Like a Pandora's box of corruption and wrongdoers, the indictments, which were unveiled in New York's Eastern District, revealed not one, but 2 intertwined criminal operations that resembled intricate spy novels or Martin Scorsese crime thrillers. We are discussing an insider sports betting business that mercilessly and precisely took use of confidential NBA information. In addition, there was a high-stakes poker ring that was supported by the infamous Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucy families, not just one, not two, but 4 significant organized crime families. Names that shiver the spine of anyone acquainted with the murky underside of American organized crime and instill fear in the hearts of law enforcement officers.
What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
He went on.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
According to the prosecution, these operations produced tens of millions of dollars in illegal revenue, which was then routinely used to plan criminal operations that financed other illegal businesses and featured what industry insiders refer to as spot fixing, manipulating some aspects of the game, such as player departures, unexpected injuries, or tactical choices, in order to support pre-established wagers, all without necessarily manipulating the results of entire games in a way that would be readily apparent to even the most experienced basketball experts or the casual observer. Let's now discuss the names that were included in this sordid matter. The faces that will always be connected to what may turn out to be the most troubling period in the history of the modern NBA. We have the Portland Trail Blazers' current head coach, Shanti Phillips, a man who embodied all that was admirable and great about professional basketball. He was once honored as a Hall of Famer, the 2004 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player, and a 5-time All-Star. Phillips was arrested in Portland, Oregon, and the accusations against him depict a man who allegedly gave insider information about the Trailblazers' tanking tactics during the 2023 season and took part in mafia-backed rigged poker games to trick unsuspecting victims into losing their hard-earned money. The Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, who has 10 years of professional experience, comes next. a player that recently inked a 4-year, $97 million contract in 2024, signifying the highest level of financial achievement in the basketball industry. The magnitude and daring of the charges against Rozier, who was detained in a motel in Orlando, Florida, are simply astounding. Claims that during the 2023 to 2024 season, he disclosed confidential information regarding injuries and early game exits for wagers on 7 distinct games involving several teams, including the Hornets, Magic, Blazers, Lakers, and Raptors. Not to be overlooked is Damon Jones, a former NBA player who played for the Cleveland Cavaliers for 11 seasons and won a title there in 2016. He later went on to coach the Lakers and Heat. Jones was arrested and charged for allegedly being involved in both schemes. He sold insider injury information about LeBron James and Anthony Davis during 2023 Lakers games and allegedly took part in rigged poker operations that preyed on wealthy victims who were unaware that they were falling into a well-planned trap. However, this controversy is not unique to the NBA. It is not isolated from other instances of corruption and gambling misconduct. No, this expands on earlier NBA gambling problems that have dogged the league. Most notably, former Toronto Raptors center Porter was given a lifetime ban in 2024 and subsequently entered a guilty plea. Porter was a young player whose promising career was ruined by his involvement in prop bet manipulation, which was directly related to his growing debt from gambling that had gotten completely out of control. Authorities asserted that threats against Porter were used to elicit insider information, resulting in a network of illegal activity and coercion that directly connects his case to the ongoing prosecutions we are talking about today. The NBA is currently in the extremely awkward position of having to reconcile its financial relationships with gambling interests, while also dealing with the fallout from these devastating scandals. The NBA has established partnerships with betting companies like DraftKings and FanDuel worth over $1 billion. As the team tries to negotiate these perilous waters and preserve some sort of normalcy and operational continuity, the league has placed Portland Trail Blazers coach Shanna Billups on administrative leave and appointed assistant coach Tiago Splitter as temporary head coach. It is impossible to overestimate or understate the scope of this inquiry. We are discussing an operation that necessitated previously unheard-of levels of collaboration between state police departments, local authorities, and federal law enforcement organizations in 11 different states. It wasn't by chance or accident that the FBI discovered this scheme. They carried out what has been called a painstaking, methodical, and unrelenting investigation that included thousands upon thousands of hours of surveillance, the recording of more than 3,000 informant phone conversations, the use of blockchain technology to track cryptocurrency transactions, and the methodical development of a case that would be completely convincing if it were brought before a federal grand jury. The NBA's $10 billion yearly revenue is currently under unprecedented scrutiny due to the rise in legalized sports betting in the U.S., a phenomenon that has drastically changed the professional sports landscape in ways that were unthinkable only 10 years ago. The same basic questions are being asked by television networks, club owners, sponsors, and fans. What is the extent of this corruption? How many games have been impacted by spot fixing and insider information? Will we ever be able to genuinely believe that the competition we are watching is honest? And above all, what safeguards must be in place to guarantee that this kind of illegal activity never again establishes such a significant presence in professional basketball? The 3 jailed NBA members are facing an incredibly severe list of criminal accusations that, if found guilty on all counts, could result in decades in prison. Due to the organized criminal ties that permeate every facet of these operations, they have been charged with wire fraud, conspiracy, money laundering, unlawful gambling, and numerous other connected offenses that carry mandatory minimum sentences, as well as the potential for additional punishments.